With this gentleman here. Sir, where are you from?
Hi, Father. My name's Pat Kearns, Deacon Pat from California.
Oh, great. Welcome, Deacon.
Yeah, thank you, Father. My question for you is, we're sure seeing a big difference with the priests in our side of the United States. The younger priests are coming out of seminary very fervent and teaching a very strong message that seems to be coming across very well, especially to the youth. Some of the older priests that are there, very wonderful men.
What do you mean by older?
Older than me. Actually, they're wonderful men, but their message doesn't seem to be as strong and fervent, and I think that's what people are looking for. What can we do to encourage those priests with that message?
You know, part of the problem is certainly going to be understanding the background. Were you around in the 60s? I didn't think
After
so.
Vatican II.
Yeah, I thought so. Anyway, for those of us older priests who remember the 60s, well, there was, it seemed this freshness, this kind of opening up that would, you know, allow us to have openness to all sorts of things. And instead of talking about those things that divide us, let's talk about things we all have in common. And that mentality so permeated, you know, that we then began to water down. And as a matter of fact, sometimes the way that it worked is that a lot of folks would be indifferent to the Catholic elements. So I think you have to take it one issue at a time. And, you know, and also think back in this, well, you can't think back in the 60s, but some of us can. And one of the things was a rejection of all institutions. Institutions were bad. People over 30 were not to be listened to until we turned 30. And then, you know, this is something that was part of that culture. And a lot of priests who are in their middle age and older age were part of that. I think we have to address some of that with the same kind of dialogue and say, you know, to let Father know that a lot of our people don't even know elements of the faith. A lot of folks don't. When I taught college, I would have my students, I would test my students to write out the 10 Commandments because they didn't know them. And they had some very odd notions of what might be God's commandments. But we worked at correcting it because I made them, I had it on 3 different tests per semester. They had to write them all out. Eventually they might learn. But these, you know, there's so many basics, and I think that to call them back to more basics would be one thing you can do. And let them know that this is something that is important, but also bring out why you, because this is your family, I take it, so that you're a family man, you understand the needs for your family to understand certain things in the faith. It's not just extras. These are things that really affect the way we live. That might be helpful to them. They see the relevance of it more and more, and not just that it's, oh, you're just a right-wing ideologue and you're just upset. No, it's about that's what they're afraid of. And I thought, no, these issues have great ramifications, and I'd like us to think through them more. And they enter into that dialogue rather than say, stop being so stuck in the 60s. Okay? Does that make sense?